On today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, my name is Harrison Graham. ESPN's Matt Miller released his latest NFL mock draft, and we're going to react to all of the Bears selections here on today's show. Now, the way they do their mock drafts, and I don't agree with this, by the way, why not just do it based on the current draft order, but whatever, is based on ESPN's FPI, Football Power Index, basically projecting on where teams will finish at the end of the season. The way we do them here at Chat Sports is based on the current draft order. So in this draft, the Bears have the 1st and the 8th pick, not the 1st and the 5th, which is where they actually sit right now. So keep that in mind. That's how they do their mock drafts. All right, and with the number 1 overall pick, Matt Miller has the Bears selecting USC quarterback Caleb Williams at the top. Obviously, that's going to be popular in these mocks moving forward, so just get used to it. Bears obviously have a very tough decision to make with Justin Fields. We've talked about this a lot. I'm a Fields guy. I'm a defender of him, but there is an appeal to resetting that quarterback clock, and Caleb Williams is a good prospect. So is Drake May, for that matter. He is projected to be the top pick. Now, I don't think it's unanimous like it was entering the college football season. I think Drake May's in the discussion. I think if the Bears keep Fields, they could keep number 1 and just draft Marvin Harrison if they don't trade down. So I do think there are other scenarios where Williams doesn't go number 1 overall this year, but he is the large favorite to be the top selection. Now, Matt Miller had this to say about the Bears quarterback situation and the tough decision they have to make. He said the Bears have a tough decision to make at quarterback given how well Justin Fields has played since his return from a right thumb injury a month ago, but he has been inconsistent over 3 seasons. Miller continues, Chicago would likely take a quarterback if it lands one of the top 2 selections in the draft. Williams being available makes it an easier call, too. Williams is a big play waiting to happen with 41 total touchdowns in 2023. He's a quarterback the Bears simply cannot afford to pass on for another year of Fields. Restarting the clock at the position, both in terms of salary and development timeline, now is crucial with Fields' 5th-year option decision on deck. Now, that's the big debate, right? Do you keep Justin Fields, keep building this roster, exercise the 5th-year option and have 2 more years of team control, or do you trade Justin, take a chance on a QB prospect that, yes, does reset the contract clock, and you'll still have another first-round pick to take a good player, hopefully, and build this roster with that and in free agency, but with no guarantee that this quarterback hits, especially not right away in year 1. It's tough. It's tough. Now, I will counter what Miller said and said they simply cannot afford to pass on Williams to keep Fields. I wouldn't say that. There's arguments for both sides. I don't think it's you absolutely have to dump Fields and draft Williams. I think that's ridiculous. Fields is playing pretty well right now. He's improved this year. But I get where he's coming from in the QB contract stuff. We've outlined all that. You get a young player, cost control for a few years while you build the roster. You see like the Niners with Brock Purdy. They're not paying him anything. That's why they have a loaded roster. And the Bears are in a unique position where this roster is starting to look really good, and they can keep building it this way and not have to pay a quarterback. But at the same time, you also don't have to pay Justin Fields for at least 2 more years if you don't want to. So it's not like you have to pay Fields this offseason if you keep him. I think that's a misconception that's out there. Now, pick a QB for 2024. Who would you rather have? Type J up for Justin Fields, CW for Caleb Williams. If you took all the contract stuff out of it, I would say Justin Fields for sure, because I think 4th-year Justin Fields has a better chance of being better next year than rookie-year Caleb Williams. Now, if you're asking who's going to be better 3 years from now, that's harder because we don't know. So, JF for Justin Fields, CW for Caleb Williams. Get your votes in the comments. Caleb Williams he's a very talented player. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This year kind of got wonky on USC, but even then, he still put up great numbers. He's never been a high interception guy, which I really like as well. The turnovers problems he has been fumbling, which is very similar to Fields in the NFL, by the way. But like Justin, he's mobile. Now, he's not a 4-4 guy. He's not going to, run for 150 yards in a game, where Justin every once in a while is going to do that for you. But he's mobile enough, almost has 1,000 rushing yards and plenty of rushing touchdowns in his career. He's a good prospect. He can get the ball out quick. He can make all the throws, the arm angle stuff. Like, he's a highlight reel machine. Justin Fields is that too, though, in a lot of ways. He really, really is. And when I look at Caleb Williams, this is kind of the scouting profile. He's a little small. He's definitely smaller than Justin. 6'1", 215 is what he's listed at. think he's probably going to be more like 6 foot. So I think his measurements will be critical at the combine. The arm talent is elite. The arm strength is incredible. He can make every throw. He's at his best off platform outside the pocket. He can make plays in the pocket, but definitely an area he has to improve in structure overall. And kind of like Justin Fields, he's got a fumbling problem. 32 fumbles in 3 years. Not 32 lost fumbles, but 32 times he's put the ball on the ground. He's very talented. He is very, very talented. Coming into this college football season, he was the undisputed #1 overall pick. Now, I don't think he had the smoothest senior year. That season got away from USC. They kind of stumbled to 7-5 down the stretch. So, there's a lot of things to look into if you're the Bears. Like, what is his mental makeup like? There's a lot of questions about that type of stuff. Can he handle being the face of a franchise in a city like Chicago where the media is relentless and the fan base is starving for quarterback success, and you feel like this team is really rallying behind Justin Fields at the minute to turn on him and go with Caleb Williams? That's a lot to have to convince as a rookie quarterback. So it's very, very tricky. Coming up, we are going to get into the Justin Fields part of this discussion because obviously that plays a role here as well. So stay tuned for that. But first, do want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Game Time. They have last-minute tickets for the best prices available with Game Time. Whether you're going to a Bears game, a concert, comedy show, when you're buying your tickets, it shouldn't be stressful. It should be easy and painless, and with Game Time, it is. They got the best offers available, and there's nothing complicated about purchasing with Game Time. You got the Cardinals and the Falcons coming to town over the next couple of weeks, so if you want to hop in and get your tickets right now, you can do so. They have some deals available. Typically, they'll do like little price alerts where you can get a good deal, cheaper than normal in a certain section. So go ahead and check that out as well. Here's what you need to do. You need to go into the App Store, search Game Time, and then plug in our promo code BearsChat after you create an account today. And then once you do that, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time right now. There's a link in the description and comments of this video. Go check out a Bears game. Go watch the Bulls, concerts, etc., and do it with Game Time. They're going to get you the best prices available, guaranteed, and at the last minute as well. You can buy tickets the day of games or events also. So let's talk about Justin Fields because obviously Caleb Williams is the pick here in this mock draft. But Justin Fields, he's making his case. I mean, he's improving year over year as this team's quarterback, as a passer, which is what we wanted to see. I don't think he's improved insanely enough where, like, the conversation is crystal clear. Like, there's no way you would draft a quarterback #1, but he has improved. We know what he is as a runner. I mean, he is a special runner in this league. For my money, he is the best running quarterback in the NFL. He surpassed Lamar Jackson in that category last year, in my opinion. He's improved every year. And I do think it's worth revisiting what Ryan Poles said before the season when he was asked multiple times, what do you want to see from Justin this year? He said, I want to see him improve. Well, he's improved. The numbers say so. The tape says so. Is it perfect? No. Is he a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now? Probably not. Can he get there? If you think he can, then you should probably keep him. If you're unsure, then I understand the appeal of wanting to draft him. I think he could get there. I think he's for sure top 20, probably fringe top 15 right now with the arrow pointing up. It's just how fast is that arrow pointing up? How high is that ceiling? I'm comfortable with his floor. The question is, can you win a Super Bowl with him? That's the question you have to ask yourself if you're the Bears. And if you're unsure, and if you are sure, at least close to it, there's no way of being 100% sure with these prospects, but if you feel very confident in Caleb Williams or Drake May, then yeah, that's something you have to absolutely consider doing. Field scouting profile in comparison to Williams, unreal speed and athlete at the quarterback position. He's Michael Vick as a runner. He really is. And he's probably more powerful than Vick. It's impressive. The deep ball throwing is fantastic. The accuracy is there. The ball placement. He can make all the throws. The accuracy overall can be hit and miss. The timing of that stuff, we've seen him make some awesome throws. We've seen him miss some easy ones. It's still a work in progress there. The processing can be slow at times, although I think that has improved. It's spotty on the tape, though. Sometimes he doesn't see things that he should. And like Caleb, he's got a fumbling issue, too. 35 fumbles in 3 years, and he's had some decent fumble luck, too, to be honest. So he could have lost a lot more fumbles than he has. The bottom line is what Ryan Poles does with Fields and with this #1 pick, it's a franchise-changing decision, one way or the other. Because if you keep Fields and he kind of just stalls, he's like what he is now, and doesn't continue to improve at, a major rate, then, well, and Caleb Williams becomes awesome, then you miss an opportunity. But on the flip side, if you move Fields, he continues to improve, and even if he doesn't become awesome but becomes a franchise guy, and Caleb or Drake are not it, they do not connect, well, then you've gone backwards. So it's tough. Ryan Poles has a massive decision to make, and it's undoubtedly going to define his tenure here as the Bears GM. So fill in the blank. The Bears' 2024 starting quarterback will be blank. Will it be Justin Fields? Will it be Caleb Williams? Will it be Drake May? I'm very confident it'll be one of those three names. It's just a matter of which one it is. Okay, so we get to the second pick for the Bears in this mock draft. It's number 8 overall. Remember, ESPN does it based on FPI. Malik Nabers, the LSU wide receiver. They mock him to Chicago. This is intriguing. He led college football in receiving yards. He was just one vote behind Marvin Harrison for the Blitnikoff Award, which is awarded to the best receiver in college football. Malik Nabers is an absolute dog. Like, if you don't know the name, get to know it. I know we're all infatuated with Marvin Harrison Jr., and he is my top receiver in this draft. But Malik Nabers is nothing short of terrific. I mean, just look at the numbers. Like, scouting aside, like, this guy was insanely productive in the SEC. He can go up and get it for his size. He's like 6 foot, 6'1", explosive as hell after the catch. He can go vertical. You can get him the ball in space, and he makes plays. I love Malik Nabers. He can do it all. Marvin just happens to be 6'4" and can do pretty much everything Nabers can do with the route running, the separation, etc. That's why he's the best receiver in this class. But if Marvin wasn't in this draft, Malik Nabers would be like, we'd be talking about him like Jamar Chase, I think. He's that good of a prospect, if we're being completely honest. Now, Matt Miller, when talking about Malik Nabers here, he had this to say. He said, the Bears have DJ Moore, tight end Cole Kmet, who you see right there, but with Darnell Mooney struggling to develop into a consistent threat and set to hit free agency, they could stand to add more options. Nabers is the most explosive after-the-catch receiver in the draft. He averages 6.8 yards after the catch per reception, which is nuts, by the way. And I like to compare him to Stephon Diggs. I find that comp interesting, and I do agree with it. Similar build, similar kind of explosiveness off the line of scrimmage and after the catch. If you told me you're getting Stephon Diggs with Malik Nabers, I'm in, because this dude has been a top 10 receiver in the NFL for like 7 years now. And the point of what I want to just say here is this wide receiver draft is more than Marvin Harrison Jr. Do I want Marvin Harrison Jr.? You're damn right I do. I would really like to have him. But if you end up with Malik Nabers or Rome Odunze or even Keon Coleman next to DJ Moore, you're going to be happy, Bears fans, believe me, because these 4 wide receiver prospects are fantastic. And by the way, there's about 10 to 15 more that are pretty damn good too. This is an unreal wide receiver draft class. And yes, Maserati Marv is at the top of the list, but Nabers is pretty close. Odunze's up there. I think there's a bit of a gap between Odunze and Coleman, but I do like Keon Coleman also. I really, really like Malik Nabers, man. And if you do move on from Justin Fields, which, again, I would not make that decision at this exact point in time, but a Caleb Williams-Malik Nabers combination to pair with DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and the rest of this offense right now, that is pretty enticing. Who is your favorite receiver prospect in this draft after Marvin Harrison Jr.? I am a Malik Nabers guy. I really like Odunze, but I would lean Nabers between those two. Maybe you like Keon Coleman. Who is your favorite receiver in this draft after MHJ? Let me know in the comments. All right, guys, more draft coverage to come over the next several months, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll probably put out another mock draft next week since I didn't put out my own this week. We'll see what happens in that game in Cleveland. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Subscribe for more videos.